Today, we're checking out the Matchless Clubman 35, an amp that looks innocent, sounds expensive, and punches like it skipped anger management. Let's do it. What's up, guitar nerds? It's Cam here, back in the lab. And in this video, we're going to go through everything about the Matchless. The backstory, the guts, the tones, and why this 35-watt boutique thing has more personality than most drummers. So Matchless hit the scene in the early 90s in Los Angeles, led by designer Mark Sampson, a man who apparently woke up one day and decided guitar amps should be built tough enough to survive an earthquake and still make a record. His amps were hand-wired, overbuilt, tone-obsessed, and absolutely unapologetic about it. The Clubman 35 landed right in the middle of the lineup. Not a bedroom amp, not an arena cannon, just the perfect shut-up-and-play amp. For people who actually care about tone, this is one you need to check out. So let's hit the specs. It's 35 watts, a loud 35 watts. It's got two EL34 power tubes mated with two 12AX7s plus an EF86 in the preamp. Also, a 5AR4 tube rectifier. So on the front panel, you've got your volume, bass, treble, brilliance, and master volume, plus your on and standby switches. On the back, you've got 4, 8, and 16 ohm outputs, as well as an effects loop. Also, it's hand-wired because, of course, it is. Now, there's a lot of different looking models of this, especially some of the older ones. This is a 90s Sampson era Clubman 35 right here. But I think the difference in aesthetics over the years from, the 90s until now, where the Clubman reverb has come into the picture, I think that's part of the charm. I mean, these are boutique amps, not Toyotas. Now, the sound. Here's the real reason people obsess over this thing. It starts with the EF86 pentode preamp. This tube is a diva of the preamp world. High maintenance, a little dramatic, but when it's working, it's absolutely gorgeous. The EF86 gives you upper mid clarity, insane harmonic detail, and a punchy attack that makes your playing feel more awake and alive. In fact, one of the reasons I love the Clubman 35 so much is because the whole time you're playing it, no matter what level, no matter where you're set, it always feels like it's about to go off the rails at any moment. It's pure joy to play these amps. Then you've got the EL34s in the power amp section. You've got that British voice, the mid-range muscle, but it's smoother and more refined than your typical Marshall sound. The master volume on these things actually works, so you can get real breakup without turning your studio into a hostage situation. The bottom line, it's gig-worthy, it's studio-friendly, and it takes pedals like it was designed by a pedal addict. And it shines through a good 1x12 or 2x12, in my opinion. And please, don't run it without a load. Matchless warns you, techs warn you, your credit card will warn you. Don't do it. Now, these were designed originally around a NOS EF86, and EF86 tubes are picky, and the circuits that are designed around particular EF86 tubes are also a little bit picky. NOS EF86 tubes and modern EF86 tubes are not the same thing. I'm not a tech, but I can tell you that these old Clubman 35s, they want a NOS EF86 tube. And while that can be a little bit spendy, you're not changing preamp tubes all the time. So right here, I want to take just a second and remind you to please like and subscribe to the channel. And then, of course, we have made captures and profiles of this amplifier available at sixstringlab.com. The link will be in the description. The Clubman 35, the 90s era, the Sampson era, Clubman 35 can be, even if you had the money and wanted to buy one, they're incredibly difficult to find. But you can get that tone with, we've got it for NAMM or ToneX. And NAMM, of course, you can use the Vailton GP5 stuff, or the Sonic Cake, or the Hotone. Like, lots of stuff is starting to support NAMM. Apparently Line 6 in the future, as well as Fractal maybe in the future. Let's cross our fingers on that one. That would be dope. So we've got profiles, but we've got them for NAMM, ToneX, Headrush, of course. You know, I always forget. We've got them for everything. Check the links in the description. If you want this amp pack, go get it. So I think now let's just go ahead and check this thing out. We'll go through, I'll just kind of show you how the tone stack works. We'll play with just the amp, and then I've got this J-Rocket Archer here, which is a clonish type overdrive pedal, just so you can see how it kind of interacts with pedals. And we'll go from there. The guitar, this Charvel is loaded with Duncan distortions and some kind of single coil in the middle position. So I'm going to use this so we can see what it does with humbuckers and with single coils, all without switching guitars. So right now we are on the bridge pickup, and we've got the volume or the gain, whatever you want to call it, but it's labeled volume. We've got it just a little bit up there, and so you can see with the Duncan distortion, there's still a little bit of breakup, right? But with a lesser humbucker, because the distortions are pretty hot, or a single coil, and that is just gorgeous. These things make some of the prettiest cleans you'll ever hear, just full of rich harmonics. Compresses right where it's supposed to, and it has an edge on it. I love them. And then, you know, in a more cleanish setting here, we can go to the bridge humbucker, and you can still get pretty beautiful cleans, even with a fairly high output humbucker. But then, even at halfway, these things can really start to sing. Start getting some pretty great breakup there. And then if we go ahead and give it a clon pedal to play with, things can get really interesting. And on this clon, I'm using very little drive. We're just kind of using it as a front end boost pedal more than anything. And it's just... So you can get some pretty serious grind out of these if you put a pedal in front of them. But the one thing I will note about the Matchless is that the bottom end is pretty flubby, you know what I mean? It's not real tight. Even if you were to put like a tube screamer in front of it or something, it's still pretty flubby bottom end. So it's not going to be a good gent amp, but I don't think anyone's watching this thinking it would be, so. And then if you take, for example, if we take the bass, crank it up, you'll hear that that bass drives the drive even a little bit more, you know? Same with treble, crank the treble. Even though they're not really affecting the bass and treble dramatically, what they do as you turn them up is they affect the gain in the circuit. Let's hear that with just no pedal. That's with the bass all the way up. We turn it all the way, you can hear that. As I turn it down, you can hear the gain go. And here's with the bass all the way down, treble all the way up. It stays pleasant, you know, it's not piercing, there's no nasty frequencies in there. Here's treble halfway. So very usable EQ section. Let's turn the treble all the way down. Turn the bass all the way up with the treble all the way down. Get a nice woolly sound. Turn the clon back on. So even if you do silly things like crank the bass and turn the treble all the way off, you can still get really great tones out of this. It's hard to get a bad tone out of them, actually. Now, I'll just dime the preamp for you real quick so you know what that sounds like. That was with the pedal on, now pedal off. See, it gets real flubby when you get that gain up there. You back it down a little bit and put a nice dry pedal in front, it'll stay tighter than that for sure. Just full of harmonic overtones, I love it. And then, of course, the master really doesn't do a lot past halfway other than really fatten things up. So if we just go, just fills in the bottom end, really drives those output tubes. You get a little breakup from even the output tubes. So all in all, these are pretty great to play with. Let's just dime the brilliance. Turn it down a little bit. All the way off. So you can get really usable tones out of this thing. It's hard to screw it up. You could put these dials pretty much anywhere. And it's still going to sound great. It's just that it's just got that Matchless Clubman sound. I love the preamp section that's kind of derived from a Vox style amp paired with the EL34 power section of like a Marshall style amp. I think the mating of those two makes a really special amp. Nothing sounds quite like a Clubman. Drive it a little bit. So there you go. That was the Matchless Clubman 35, one of my favorite amps in the world. I love these things. And I think everyone should be able to have that sound. So you should definitely go check out the profiles and capture packs we have at sixstringlab.com. They're already available and we've been getting great feedback on the Clubman 35 in particular. So check them out. And then, you know, go ahead and hit the like and subscribe buttons. They're down there below you. Let me know when you're done. Okay, you got it? So now that you've liked and subscribed, go ahead and drop a comment and let me know the next amp you want us to roast or review. And if I don't already have it, I'll grab it and we'll do another one of these and make a capture pack. So until next time, I've been Cam and this has been a Matchless Clubman 35.